fight news. It's not fight news. It's brunch boxing.
Brunch boxing, man. Y'all brunch boxing, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. Keep working hard, man.
Hey, I don't know what brunch boxing is, but shout out to them.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Brunch Boxing. I am your host, Matt, flying solo today. I feel like not like a substitute teacher. I feel like my bad student called in sick today. I feel like a teacher that's been stressed by this bad class, but the class is not all bad. You just have this one student that just he rallies the troops against me, and make my life miserable. But that student called in sick today. So no Ezra today. Conda Blue. Sorry, boys. You have no one that you could get on your knees for today. All right. I know you hate to hear it, but it is what it is, my brother. But here today, the master marionette himself, super producer of Brunch Boxing, Huey P. What's going on, Huey?
Doing good. Busy weekend, getting ready for the busy Fundora Thurman fight week that's coming up. I know Ezra, like you said, but at least he gave us a little bit of notice rather than bailing at the last second.
Now you're actually going to be boots on the ground for Fundora versus Thurman this coming fight week, right?
Absolutely. You're going to be landing at the beginning of fight week on Wednesday. I'll be there for all the festivities, and I'm not sure when Mike's going to be out there, but he'll be joining as well. Brunch Boxing will be fully represented.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I saw that PBC just announced that Cameron, the Stat Baby, going to be hosting a show with Sean Zattel. It's going to be pretty dope
Nice.
with the stuff they're trying to do on
I
Wednesday.
like that collaboration they got going on.
Yeah, they should listen. They should do more of this. Because Cameron, obviously, he knows his boxing. Stat Baby, she don't know shit about boxing, but hey, I mean, I like to look at her. So, you know, she can do her hosting duty. She's actually a good host in general. And obviously, we know Sean Zattel. He knows his shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then
he knows his shit.
we got a shorter show here with a lighter week in boxing. Before we get into all the festivities and everything Matt's going to go over, though, I just want to ask everyone to go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We're still trying to get up to 1,000, but share the show. Let's get watchers. That helps us get into the algorithm. So anything you can do to help support the channel, this is a free way to do it. We always ask to show that Cash App at the end, but this is a way to support without having to send anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make sure y'all. What do they usually say? Smash the like button. Smash the like button. So y'all go smash that like button. Do your thing. But I'm flying solo today, so I hope you guys are okay with that.
You ready to get into the first topic of the week?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So I think this was the biggest news that we had in the week. We saw Top Rank did sign a TV deal, but it was with DAZN. Matt, what do you think this means for the future of the sport and what DAZN's place is in the atmosphere, I guess, in the world of boxing?
Well, obviously, DAZN is quote unquote the home of boxing. They have all of these entities under their umbrella. I did find it interesting. I'm not sure if you saw, but Todd DeBow, the president of Top Rank, the one who runs the day-to-day operations, he did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and he was talking about why, despite the recent talks, they did not go back to ESPN. He basically said that the needs of ESPN has changed, so they're not looking to host all of what Top Rank brings. So Top Rank was like, let me find a place that's going to host our entire vertical, which I found to be pretty interesting, So it's like, you guys were back, trying to consummate the marriage again, and you just fell off. So now Top Rank here with DAZN, they had a big kickoff shindig with a few fighters there. One thing that was interesting to me was the actual press release that they sent out to announce the deal. That's what was most interesting to me. So in the press release, obviously they said, "Oh, Top Rank of DAZN reached a landmark multi-year media rights deal. But what was interesting to me was they named 6 fighters in their press release: Keyshawn Davis, Xander Zayas, Abdullah Mason, Emmanuel Navarrete, Raymond Murataya, Oshaki Foster, and Bruce Shushu Carrington. Now, why is this interesting to me? Where's Teofimo Lopez? Where is Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez was supposed to be their biggest star. And I think not including him in an announcement, I think that was on purpose. And I think we might be seeing Teofimo Lopez go over to Zuffa. He is another Keith Connolly client. So maybe his time at Top Rank is done. Now, they didn't mention Emiliano Vargas, but Emiliano Vargas was front and center at the press conference. So he's obviously a big part of their future. You know, I was joking with him that him, Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn, and Shushu are like the Fantastic Four. They're going to be putting Top Rank on their back. He was laughing at that. But it's true. Those are the young guns for Top Rank. And, of course, Xander Zayas, who is another young gun that we're going to be talking about shortly. So I think it's a good move for Top Rank overall, just to get them back doing what they're supposed to do, get them putting on shows and things of that nature. But I will caution people. Todd DeBuff also said that this is a non-exclusive deal and that they may do another deal with another entity. So, you know, you guys should be looking out for that. So we'll see. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, so one question that I have for you, I think it's all right. I don't mind it. It's if you already have DAZN and you enjoy the sport, you can find a lot of it on there. There was fights on there Thursday night. I believe there was was there a card on there last night? Just, you know, anytime you turn on DAZN, you have a chance to see a boxing card. It's kind of neat. One thing that I have to say about this deal, or ask you rather, is this just a broadcast rights deal, or are they paying for some, or are they providing any sort of budget for Top Rank to put on these cards?
So the way that it was reported was that it's just like some licensing. I believe when Keith Idek, who first broke the story, he put out numbers that's been since refuted, where he said that Top Rank was going to be paid a licenses fee of 1 million to 1.25 million per show for 8 to 10 shows. I'm like, huh, that seems awfully low. But then you saw Lance Pugmire, who looked like, I don't know if he was doing like a rush job with it, but he was reporting that Top Rank is going to be getting like 5 million per show. And I'm like, huh, that seems like too much, you know? Like, because if you think about it, if Top Rank was going to get 5 million per show from DAZN, they would have signed with DAZN a long time ago, because 5 million per show is a hell of a lot of money. So I think it's somewhere in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 2 to 3 billion per show, or something like that. They're only talking about 8 to 10 shows. Todd DeBuff was non-committal when it came to putting out a specific number of shows they were contracted to do. So I think there may be some truth in the 8 to 10 number, and he just doesn't want to put that out there because maybe he feels like PR wise, that's a bad look that is for such a small amount of shows. But I don't think any of that really matters, because at the end of the day, what really matters is the content that they put out, and put out some good shit. You put out good stuff, the people will watch, and the people will watch, and you'll get a bigger, better deal. You know, that's the way I look at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that while their product may have been more accessible the way that they've been airing it the past few months on Tubi, I think they're going to be taken as more of a serious product, being with a broadcaster like DAZN, which, even if we don't like some of the product and some of the practices DAZN has, it's good for their business to be taken more seriously as a promoter in the space. Before we move on, JBZ's joined the show, host of the Boxing Source, longest running boxing program on YouTube. What do you have to add to Top Rank joining DAZN, if anything?
You know, going off of what Matt said, the the press release that they put out there and the names that they mentioned, right? Not only that, they had the press conference that was earlier in the week, and they had Emiliano Vargas there as one of the fighters to be in attendance for it. And we did bring up that, yeah, that's interesting that they didn't have Teofimo Lopez on there or mentioned. But for me, that kind of gives me inkling that they may or may not be dealing with Teofimo Lopez from this point forward. Given the past, what I'd say, year and a half of how Top Rank and Teofimo Lopez had been dealing with each other, and there's been like some buzz about them, not liking Teofimo Lopez all too much and how he handles business. So when he had that fight against Shakur Stevenson, that was almost like a let's see if you could win this, and if you don't, then we're not sure if we're going to be dealing with you anymore. And and then add to the part that Teofimo Lopez, you kind of seen him, with Zuffa Boxing or showing up at Zuffa Boxing shows, and he's appeared at other events as well. That kind of like gives me the idea that I'm not all too sure that Top Rank wants to have future dealings with Teofimo Lopez from this point forward. But we'll see on that one. As far as like the deal, I like the deal as you said there. Huey, that at least you'll have something where everybody could go to one network and see all of the boxing content, or just about all of the boxing content there. I would be interested to see how they handle how they had the Top Rank Classics channel, and then also fighters that are co-promoting with Top Rank and other promotional companies like Eye of the Tiger. So I want to see what they do with guys like Christian and Billy or something like that.
Well, we'll get into Christian and Billy later. I think I know what's going to happen with Christian and Billy. We'll get into that later into the show. Another thing I wanted to talk about with this Top Rank thing, JBZ, is Todd the Buff really set his sights on Dana White in this interview with Aaron Hawani. Basically, ripping him, saying this guy has no clue what he's doing, what he's talking about. He's basically talking about how uh, boxing guys can't run boxing. They don't know what they're doing, but yet he had to lobby politically to get a law changed in order to come into the sport of boxing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a Todd DeBuff, Dana White rivalry. And what's interesting to me is that Todd DeBuff has never been this front and center before.
Right.
So,
Well,
hey,
at least Todd DeBuff didn't say that Dana White was holding fights in his garage. But I
yeah,
mean, still.
yeah. I think it kind of means that Bob Arum is probably nearing the end. He's probably, well, we know he's closer to the grave. Uh, every day he's like in his 90s. But to me, Todd DeBuff taking a more active role, almost like being a front man trying to be a star, I think that just shows the direction that the company is going. Also, Top Rank is running really, really lean now. They've gotten rid of a lot of staff members. They laid off guys, including their PR guy Evan Korn. He's no longer with them, and they promoted Gabe Rivas and Gardy Lopez into similar positions. A lot of fighters that were with Top Rank are no longer with them. We just saw this past week that Charlie Suarez, who was with Top Rank and who was the WBO mandatory for Emmanuel Navarrete, he signed with Samson Lukowicz. Top Rank, Top Rank is entering a new phase where I guess they're going to be a stronger, leaner company. So I'm kind of curious as to what it all means because they have been signing people. So maybe they're just shifting the roster, shifting the deck chairs, and they're looking for a bigger move in the future.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of the news tidbits where they made signings of young fighters and things like that. So, um, as far as like, what you were saying with the specifics of their deal, like, nothing has been 100% as far as like what their details are. But once we see more of the moves that they'll make as far as like signings and the type of events that they do, then we'll get a better idea of, I guess, what their budget is.
Well, we know everything's kicking off in May. Everything's kicking off in May. Emiliano says he'll be back in May. Shushu said he'll be back in May, June. Abdullah says he'll be back in May, June. Keyshawn says he'll be back in May, June. So everything's going to be kicking off in May. That first card that they do is going to be the most interesting one. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to put out there.
Mhm.
And I'm going to be very curious to see if they are going to continue to openly work with PBC as they have been doing.
Now, who would you say would be their first few headliners there? Given like I wasn't sure if you were like there for the presser or what
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
had
was.
out there. Okay, yeah. So who would you say is like their openers? Because with Keyshawn, I think they may try to do something with him again, a headline with him again. But who else do you think they could try to put out there?
I think their opener is going to be Emiliano Vargas. To me, it sounded to me like they're going to try to do something Cinco de Mayo weekend for him, which is what he was basically intimating to me. So
Okay.
I think he's going to be there, Ricky Henderson. Like they're putting the company really on his back. They're putting the company on his back. They think that they have something with him, so I think he's going to be Matt Alito for them. Um, when PBC announced their deal with Amazon, you would have thought that they would have kicked it off with somebody like Tank or one of their big stars, but they ended up kicking it off with Tim Zoo, you know? So you just, I don't know how much it matters who they kick it off with. Uh, um, I'm more so concerned with the initial schedule that they build, just making sure their big boppers are represented early in the schedule so that you can get people excited about the events that they're doing.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Um, yeah, I think with Emiliano, they kind of like built something with him. When it was on that card before the unification bout with Navarrete versus Nunez, that they got some good support for him, like they're live. So I think that they could really, they don't have to, put that much into a fight card with Emiliano Vargas, but they'll be able to get good returns with him for his first few fights until they say, "Hey, all right, you're ready for the next step there within your division."
Now, DAZN had a very busy week. They did not stop at a rights deal for Top Rank. This was reported by Abraham Gonzalez.
Hmm.
We've talked about it the last couple weeks on the show. Golden Boy has officially re-signed with DAZN. Hey, hey, hey! Listen,
Come on, man.
Oscar De La Hoya is the fucking man. I don't care what nobody says about Oscar. That's my fucking guy right there, man.
Hey, you're never a hater if you only speak the facts. Oh man, listen.
Yeah.
I'm like, my thing was, it's like people kind of thought that they didn't really have anything with the zone when back in December when that they said that deal was over, but people should have had like their eyebrow raised when they saw that the Golden Boy event on early January, or actually mid January, was on the zone. And then just last Saturday, they had the Arnold Barbosa Kenneth Sims event on the zone. So that should have gave folks an idea that, hey, DAZN still would want to work with Golden Boy in some capacity. So having a long term deal or whatever it is, that shouldn't be much of a surprise for people because it's not like DAZN said, "All right, you could, go ahead and go your own way" or something like that. So
What the fuck was Rick Morigian thinking? I mean, let's just get to it. What the fuck was he thinking?
man, hey, but the whole funny part about the whole thing was though, as I mentioned, they had an event last weekend that involved Arnold Barboza Jr., who is managed by Rick Meridian. What is going on, man? I don't understand this, man. It's
Not for
absolutely
long.
insane. Oh my god.
Not for fucking long. I am gonna wonder what effect, if any, this deal is gonna have on the Virgil Ortiz Oscar De La Hoya arbitration that we're gonna be getting later this year. To me, and I was talking to a couple guys with a ESQ at the end of the names, Esquires, some lawyers, and they said that this kind of in effect kills Virgil's side of the case because
Oh
Oscar De La
yeah.
Hoya was exactly right with the language of the
Oh
deal
yeah. That's
and saying that no, we still have a relationship and we
hmm
have some stuff agreed to. We have all the
hmm
major stuff agreed to. We just need to put pen to paper. So it feels like Oscar De La Hoya was right the entire time. Now, I was speaking to my guy Linus Esquire, and he
hmm
says that now Rick Morigian may try to pivot and look at other bullet points in the contract, such as offering us three opponents and blah 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 to try to
hmm
get out of the deal. But
hmm
that's not that's not a strong way to get out the deal.
No,
If
no,
anything, with the three opponents, the most they'll do is say, "Don't do stuff like that." Like,
no.
and
They
that's not a grounds to terminate a contract.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
not. It's not.
yeah,
The two major things that I was saying within that lawsuit that Virgil and his team brought up was one, the whole thing about two fights per calendar year or two fights per 12 months, and the whole thing with that Golden Boy DAZN contract, which they tried to contest. And when Golden Boy said, "Hey, right now we have a provisional deal that we're working on to have a long term deal," Golden Boy basically carried that out with those dates in January and March, and now they have a long term deal. So that's one, and so that's one thing that they did. And then the second thing was they were able to honor the financial terms of the deal, and all these other things is just semantics as far as like, oh, offering two other opponents. That's just
yeah.
semantics.
Uh,
So
and and I read uh, the suit. That stuff doesn't warrant a termination of the deal.
yep, it doesn't. Like it's nothing that completely violates the promotional rights agreement. Like
And,
what are
and
we talking
not
about?
only that, you're gonna have to prove that they only offered you one fight because I have it on good authority that Virgil was also offered a couple fights with some PBC guys. So for him to say that, hey, they only offered me boots, take it or leave it, I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. And how are you going to prove it is the question.
Yeah, yeah, and those type of things is like, do you really want to put that out in public? Some of the stuff you can, but yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it if I were them.
Yeah, my thing is Virgil claims he wanted to fight. So even if Oscar only offered you boots, if you really wanted to fight, what's the issue? He's basically you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, and that's what he's doing.
Mm.
You and you know what I think really happened.
Okay.
I think that the zone through this Matchroom USA guy,
Oh shoot.
Ed, I don't remember his name. Matchroom
Yeah.
USA guy that's
Yeah.
running things with Eddie.
Yeah.
I think they were gonna shoot the locks off the wallet and give Virgil extra money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Rick Morigian saw that, and Oscar was right. He got greedy. But to me, and we're gonna get into this when we talk about PBC, it also exposed what the real game plan for DAZN was. They wanted to lift Virgil Ortiz from Oscar De La Hoya and deliver him to Matchroom, Eddie Hearn. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all they were trying to do.
That's where all those other, offers about like 15 million and 20 million
Yeah,
kind of was that.
yeah.
So
They were trying to lift him, and Rick Morigian fell for it because, hey, in Oscar De La Hoya's words, this guy's a rat piece of shit. Okay, so he fell for it. He stabbed Oscar in the back, and now Virgil Ortiz is sitting on the shelf because of him.
oh man, oh
I
goodness
see
gracious.
Virtuoso 191. He says that Ortiz needs to fire him. I agree. He needs new representation. Now, what's interesting to me about this is I'm wondering, can Golden Boy and the Ortiz family work together again? Because they're gonna
Uh,
have to.
I don't know how
They're
it's
gonna
gonna
have
work.
to.
I mean, what was that on March 14th, man? Before the main event took place, they were talking with Oscar De La Hoya, and he said, "Hey, man, he would want to work with Virgil Ortiz Jr., but he don't want to work or be dealing with Virgil Ortiz Sr." I don't know.
Bro, listen. When you are shirtless fighting a fan, you kind of have no leg to stand on. I'm sorry. Like, as a grown man, what are you doing, Virgil Ortiz Sr.? What are you doing, my brother?
He's like, "Come at me, bro."
Yeah, yeah. The fuck are you doing? That was crazy. Now, in reading Abraham Gonzalez's story on fights around the world, you should guys go check out the article if you haven't already. He did make it a point to say that this deal with the zone is also non-exclusive, meaning that Oscar De La Hoya could continue to make cross-platform
For platform
fights
fights.
like Zerto versus Benavidez, which I think is a
Mm-hmm.
good thing because PBC really helped out Golden Boy in a time of need for them. They really did.
Oh well, pretty much multiple occasions. Not just this thing here with coming up on May 2nd, but with the joint with
Ryan.
Ryan and yep.
Yeah, so PBC helped them out there, kept them afloat while they were negotiating, made it look like they didn't miss a beat. So I hope Oscar continues to work with them because they do have some interesting matchups that I still want to see in the future. Like I still want to see a Ryan Rowley rematch after Rowley beats Devin Haney in May. So I still want to see that. So we'll
Ooh,
see.
ooh.
We'll see. We'll
Now,
see. We'll see.
now the thing with the top rank stuff, because when you had that initial report that they could have had something with ESPN, I did come up with like 5 matchups that I would like to see within top rank. Was there like any fights that you would want to see within the top rank roster that they have?
Uh, is Tio still part of this roster?
Well, okay, for the time being, let's say yes,
I
since
want to see
he
Tio
was
versus Brian Norman.
okay. Yeah, because I had Tio included in one of the matchups, but it was going to be Tio versus Keyshawn. But
Do
Tio
we
versus
really need Keyshawn following in the steps of Shakur Stevenson?
uh, to be honest with you, no.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
I
was
don't
saying
get
this.
that.
It was just a grudge match. You know what I'm saying? But hey,
All it's going to do is make more people ask for them to fight each other.
Yeah, exactly. I would rather see Keyshawn fight that Mexican kid, um, Lindolfo Delgado.
Delgado.
Mm.
Mm.
I would rather see that. I would rather see. I definitely want to see what they want to do with Emiliano. I also would like to see if Top Rank is going to work out a deal again with the Japanese people over there,
Was it Ohashi
Mr. Honda and
or Honda?
and
Well, Ohashi.
Ohashi,
Yeah.
because those guys are no longer with Top Rank.
Oh yeah. So then, what will be happening with the um Inoue Nakatani fight, man?
Well, now they have a platform. Now they can work it out. Hey, listen, we'll deliver you this fight for X amount of dollars. Show it in the U.S. I think that'll be a great deal if they could re-up with Mr. Honda and Mr. Ohashi.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of the fallout, at least the chatter that I've seen online after the Golden Boy thing was announced, was, hey, the zone has Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Rank, Golden Boy, all under the same umbrella. PBC needs to just join the zone so everything could be in one place. What's your thoughts on PBC potentially joining the zone?
Who me?
Yeah,
Um. Now I would. Hey, listen. I'll just quote the words of one great person that may or not be around PBC. Okay, they do what they do, and we do what we do. Okay. Hey, as long as they're able to put up good events or great events that would be on Amazon Prime, then they'll be straight. Okay. Some of the fighters that they may have under contract or whatever it is through their promotional companies, they could do one-offs or have things where they could fight elsewhere. But as far as like their big events, I think it could still work out with them on Amazon Prime here for the time being. But as long as they do what they do, they should be good.
I
yeah.
agree with that.
Honestly, I think PBC going to the zone would be a big mistake, and that's something that a lot of people aren't accounting for. Everyone's saying, "Hey, go to the zone so all the big fights can happen without any problem." But what's the biggest fight that can happen on the zone right now? Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots Ennis. That fight is not made. Okay, instead of just putting up the money to make the fight, they tried to steal a fighter and deliver him to the other entity. Think about that.
They try
How
to get
could
them to
how
join
can
the
you
NWO.
yeah, how can you trust what's going on over there when instead of just putting up the money to make a fight between two guys that fight on their
Hmm.
platform, they tried to steal him from one promoter and deliver
To
him
yeah,
to
and to
another promoter.
another. Yeah, the facts. I mean, like boxing has been around for ages and ages and ages. If the fight is big enough, it really doesn't matter what promotional entity these fighters are under. If the fight can happen, then the fight can happen as long as the financial terms are there and the money is there. Like we've seen it happen multiple times in the past. So why can't it happen now?
Yeah, yeah. It just to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Like the fact that we don't have Boots versus Virgil, I mean, on the schedule, is ridiculous. And there's no one to blame but the zone. You can blame Oscar De La Hoya for asserting his rights. That would be stupid. You could blame Eddie Hearn for trying to lift Virgil, because that was stupid. But he's a rat piece of shit. That's what he does. This guy's a rat piece of shit promoter. A rat piece of shit promoter will do what rat piece of shit promoters do. Okay? You could blame Rick Morigian, but he's another rat piece of shit, a greedy bastard.
Now
In
that
the
I
word
agree
in
with.
the words of Usyk, he's greedy belly.
Greedy belly.
Yeah. But I blame the zone because you are the one shelling out the money. You claim that you need this fight on your platform. They were willing to do the deal. All it took was some money. And you didn't put the money up. At least you didn't put the money up when it came to Oscar's side. But somehow Matchroom was gonna pay $7 million. I guarantee you that was not coming out of Eddie's pocket. I can guarantee you that.
Speaking of money, I want to bring on to the panel the COO of Brunch Boxing, who Matt calls the Mexican Al Heyman. Mike, how you doing today?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing well. Matt, show's been excellent. Been listening the whole time.
Hola, amigo.
What's going on? I had to come in because, of course, you're talking about the rotating PBC. Listen, we are still tier number one. The zone is still the little leagues. If you ever want to make a real payday, you will have to work with PBC because they pay you real money.
I gotta say, I can't really argue against that because Ryan Garcia and not Rolly, Ryan Garcia and Mario Barnes were able to make a big event, and now you see Zerto is gonna make a big event with PBC. That's where the big events are. I mean, we could talk about the zone. Hey, they got this guy, they got this guy, but the zone, the the visibility of the zone is very small in the U.S. It really is. And people, they hate to hear it. It sounds like hating. It sounds like being negative, but it's just a fact of the matter that not a lot of people have the zone. So to me, everybody under the zone would just further shrink the boxing market. And that's the last thing that we need right now. We should be trying to expand the boxing market, not shrink it.
And
Now,
Hey,
well, just to add one thing to that, like just from like forgive me for like having the capitalistic standpoint, but competition is good in the marketplace. If everything was on DAZN, part of the
yep.
reason I think we don't get some of these fights is because they don't want to canalize their own potential events.
Yeah, yeah. In a way that's true. And shout out to Mike. We call him the Mexican Al Heyman, but with his take right there, he was basically like, the Mexican Suge Knight. If you don't want promoters all up in your videos, come to PBC.
Oh man.
Well, there's a reason they left it non-exclusive because I even think Top Rank and Golden Boy are figuring out like, well, when it comes to the big events, somebody knows how to do it a little bit better than the other person.
yeah.
You know,
Uh,
and,
That's a good point.
can you bring up that comment from
Juice
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 Digital Call?
Digital.
Yeah. Because he said, hey, Barry vs. Ryan was on the zone. Yeah, it was on the zone because PBC threw them a bone. That's what you're not getting. PBC helped keep Golden Boy afloat when they were going through their fucking drama. PBC did them a favor. They made a 2-fight deal with each other where they would do Ryan versus Barrios and Zerto versus Benavidez. Why do you think Benavidez announced the Zerto fight way back in November? Because that was the deal that they made behind the scenes. Jesus, come on, guys.
All right. Do we have any
Listen,
more DAZN talk, or you guys want to move on to the next topic?
yeah, I just think PBC should stay put. Or listen, if PBC is looking to go anywhere, they should try to see if they can do something with ESPN. But I think joining the zone is gonna hurt the marketplace of boxing. And just hey, look no further than Virgil versus Boots. You had a fight already made, and the zone somehow screwed it up. So it is what it is, man. But speaking of PBC, man, Rolly Romero, Devin Haney. Everyone's talking about it's going to be May 30th. This time's going to be in Vegas. But Devin Haney has still yet to sign the contract.
Sign the
Sign the
contract,
contract,
big
big
boy.
boy.
Sign the contract.
Yeah. Sign the contract. signed the contract. Like,
what do you think is causing the delay? Actually,
all right. So here's what I really think is causing a delay. I think that Devin Haney is trying to wait and see if Turkey Al Sheikh is willing to get involved in the Ryan Garcia situation and throw like a huge 8-figure bag on each guy to fight each other. And if that's happening, then he's not going to take the Rolly fight. He's going to wait till Ryan handhill and he'll fight Ryan in July. I think that's what's happening. He's trying to see what Turkey's going to do because there's no other reason for him to be delaying his fight. He said he wanted to fight. He talked his way into the fight. His team says that they like the deal. It's a good deal. Rolly Romero's side has already signed. Now we're just waiting on Devin. And like I told people, the WBA was not ordering Rolly to fight Shakib Giasov. I told you guys a while ago that Rolly got an exemption already. So now what are they doing? They're going to set up Shakib Giasov versus Raul Curiel for the interim WBA title. Okay? That's what they're going to end up doing. That's what they're going to end up doing. So guys, relax. Relax. This fight is on Devin Haney and on Devin Haney only. So, and I like Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney has been moving like how a fighter should move. He's taking all the smoke, but you can't talk shit about Rolly. And then when Rolly step up to fight you, you can't not take the fight. So, Devin Haney, I'm looking for you to continue to act how you've been acting. Take this Rolly fight and let the chips fall where they may.
Oh man, I thought you were when you said Devin Haney, we're looking for you. I thought you were going to turn into Booker T right
Nah,
quick.
nah,
That was
nah.
oh man.
Easy. Do you have any thoughts on this fight and whether or not you think it comes to fruition?
I hope it comes to fruition. I've been hitting up that Nevada State Athletic Commission website, checking the events calendar every single day for them to post up that particular date. They have it reserved for like T-Mobile Arena or MGM Grand Garden. So I would want to see, Rolly versus Devin Miles Haney. I think they could still have that, Devin Haney fight if you would beat Rolly and go against Ryan like later in the year. Like you could still have that 8-figure deal out there for, Ryan and Devin later this year.
Yeah, but
So
here's the thing. If Devin Haney fights Rolly Romero next, he ain't making it to that Ryan fight.
I wanted to ask BZ if he
Put that
felt
shit on
similar to
wax
you.
too, Huey. Put that shit in the book.
It's already
It-
it's in the pit.
No,
It's in the pit.
yeah,
We got it on wax last week.
Put that
BZ,
shit on
if
wax.
Oh shit.
if this fight does happen, who would not saying you have to make an official pick at this point. Obviously, it's still potentially being scheduled. But who would you favor at this point with what you've seen?
I would favor.
Of course, you're gonna favor Devin Haney. Shut the fuck up. You know. Yo. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about
Oh
this guy.
shit! Oh
Let me tell you something.
god!
This guy is a hater. He doesn't like unorthodox fighters. He probably looks at Devin Haney as the welterweight Deontay Wilder. He doesn't like unorthodox fighters. He listen. This is the guy that talks to Roddy Shields every week. All Jr. knows is about people throwing jabs.
No,
Right?
don't do that. Don't do that.
So
Don't
he
do
loves
that.
the traditional boxers and all this
Watch it.
bullshit.
Hey, I'll be like, watch it, sucker.
So I don't know that there's too much more to discuss on this topic, but Matt, I did want to bring up Dan the Boxing Man's comment and see what your thoughts are, because you alluded to something similar earlier. He said, I don't like how they rate Devin at number 1 at welterweight when he only beat Norman, and Norman himself hasn't beat anyone but Santillan and Sasaki.
Yeah, listen. None of this will matter if Devin takes the Rolly fight. Because I'm telling you right now, If Devin takes the Rolly fight, May 30th, after midnight, Rolly will take his rightful spot as number 1 in the welterweight division.
So
and I'll just leave it at that.
So you think that Rolly's work at 147 is enough to rank him at number 1 just because it's kind of a weak division and he would have done the most?
Well, here's the thing. He beat Ryan. Ryan beat Devin. I mean, people don't like triangle theories, but that's all we got at this point because they haven't all fought each other.
Yeah, he beat Ryan. And
what
Ryan
was the official weight in that fight, though?
It was the welterweight limit.
Well, Ryan beat Mario Barrios too.
143?
So Ryan weighed in 3 pounds over the official junior welterweight limit in this fight against Devin Haney. No, not the Rolly fight, the Devin fight. He didn't beat Devin at welterweight.
No. Ryan was at welterweight.
Ryan was. Devin wasn't.
Hey. One might say that's his problem.
Tomato.
They signed the deal. They shook hands.
All right. On the topic of Ryan Garcia, this week we saw him say Shakur Stevenson ducked. What do you make of that, Matt?
Hey, man. I'm going to leave it like this. Shakur was talking a lot of shit about Ryan, making it seem like it'll be easy work. He saw Ryan put the hands on Barrios, and now he want a rehydration clause. What do you call that? he was about to get more than what he bargained for. Yeah, he was about to get more than what he bargained for. This is my beef with a lot of boxing fans. Boxing fans be talking a lot of shit about these guys like Ryan and Rolly and stuff like that. But you don't see motherfuckers in a rush to go fight them. You don't see that. You know, if Shakur is really who he say he is, if he's really like that, he should be able to fight Ryan at 147 with no rehydration clause. It's not like Shakur is a big power puncher, blah, blah, blah. No, he's a boxer mover. He likes to box and move. How is Ryan's weight going to affect whether or not Shakur Stevenson can box and move?
It affects how well he can make his punch.
Well, but to Matt's point, if Shakur is going to say that he's the best in the world, or pretty much among the best in the world, you should be able to take on these guys without weight clauses.
Yeah,
if you're that good.
And the funniest part is, he said that he will fight Ryan at 147 when David Benavidez goes up to heavyweight and fight Alexander Usyk. Bro, just say you don't want to fight Ryan. Just say
that's also not a 1-to-1 comparison. Like, come on, man.
It's not a 1-to-1 comparison, but hey, guess what? I'll tell you this. I guarantee you, if David Benavidez was offered the bag to fight Usyk, I guarantee you he'd take it.
100%
I guarantee you he'd take the fight.
Usyk might second guess that one and be like, "Oh shit, I didn't actually mean that one. I didn't actually mean I want this fight."
I guarantee he'd take the fight. That's what people are not understanding. David Benavidez is different.
Matt, do you want to respond to your number one fan, Basquiat NYC?
What does he have to say now?
He says Matt is so hypocritical. He didn't say this when Tank drained Ryan and put a rehydration clause on him. Now, Matt, go. I have an idea of what this timeline is for this, but go ahead and respond to this.
Here's what I'll say. I am hypocritical because I like Tank. So yeah, that's why I like Tank. Hey, listen,
Ryan.
It is.
I thought you were gonna go with the perspective that Ryan sought out the fight with Tank.
Yeah, but that too. But here's the thing, right? If one of my favorite fighters do something, I'm not so bad. I'm not gonna go against them. But if it's somebody that I don't really fuck with, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. God damn it. This motherfucker Shakur Stevenson, he gonna call me smart guy.
Yeah.
That's
wait. Did he see you with your glasses?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That son of a bitch called. Hey, smart guy. So you know what? Fuck you, Shakur. Fuck
Oh
you.
man.
Fuck you.
All right. Any
Yeah.
other thought? Anyone
Fucking
have
book
any other
reader.
thoughts on Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson?
Shit.
Beezy? Mike?
No.
All right. Next up on the docket, we see a potential fight for New York this summer. Xander Zayas versus Jerron Boots Ennis. Matt, how likely is it that we get this fight?
I don't know. So when I was at the press conference for the Top Ranked DAZN announcement, there was a certain guy that is very plugged into the Philadelphia boxing scene that was there. And he said, "Hey, I'll see you in June." And I said, "Huh?" He said, "I will see you again in June." So he believes that we are getting Boots versus Xander Zayas in June in New York. And this was before any of these other media outlets stole his story. He's the one that said it first. So shout out to YSM. Shout out to
Yeah.
YSM Sports Media.
Yeah.
My guy Jamil Parker, who is he is the Philadelphia boxing scene. Okay, he knows the fuck going on out there. So he thinks that it's happening. He thinks that it's virtually a done deal. But I will caution you in saying that Carl Moretti kind of poo-pooed this whole excitement over all this shit Eddie Hearn's talking about. Oh, this deal is done. This deal is done. This deal is done. Let's just wait and see what happens. I don't see any reason why the deal can't happen. But if I'm Xander Zayas, I'm not signing no deal until March 29th. I want to see what happens with Fundora because, yo, for some reason, when you just adjust your glasses, it completely just zoomed
Yeah,
in
I
on you.
realize that. I'm gonna adjust it.
I was like, wait, okay, this is extra production here. I think I would want to see if I could get that 3-belt unification because there's no reason for Xander to not believe that he could grab that belt off of Sebastian Fedora. There's no reason for him not to believe that. And I think that that Mexican Puerto Rican thing, I think that'll go a long way, especially in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Boots versus Xander is a huge fight too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a huge fight too. But the only thing that Boots is bringing to the table is potentially a Philadelphia fan base because he doesn't have a belt. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. It's a great fight. I love the fight. I hope it happens, and we'll see. But like my man said, well, I'll see you in New York. So maybe it's
But
done.
when the West Boroughs makes it to the center of it, it's a good time. So that's not a
Yeah,
bad thing
yeah.
either.
Mm. June 13th, hopefully. But as you said, we'll see.
Yeah, boxing scene would say June 6th, which,
Ooh,
hold on. Do some
damn.
quick, let me do some quick, hold on. Puerto Rican.
It's June
Yeah,
14th is the
it's
Puerto
June.
Rican Day
Okay.
Parade, Matt. June 14th.
So see, June 13th, man.
So here's the
I had
thing,
the
right?
exact same thought.
Here's the thing. It
But
would make 0 sense for it to be June 6th. The point of having that fight in New York is for the Puerto Ricans. You do that parade
yeah,
weekend.
yep.
Like, guys, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Matt,
Don't
can you
make it
help?
that hard.
Hey,
Can you help
listen.
me out here, Matt? Is it not too much from other celebrations, or is it just like Cinco de Mayo weekend, same thing?
Bro, Puerto Rican weekend in New York is insane.
Yeah, I've never witnessed it or been a part of it.
Oh, it
So
is insane. I think parade weekend in New York might be bigger than Cinco de Mayo.
It could be.
Matt, Matt,
Hey,
let's
back
stop
in the
this, okay?
day,
Oh man, you don't understand the New
hey,
Yorkers in New York, man. I'm telling
hey,
you, it's
hey,
crazy out here.
listen.
And I'll tell you this, Mike, you ain't gonna have to ask me, are the hoes out? The hoes will be out.
Oh, definitely, man. It'll be an overload.
Yo,
I just say
bro,
that.
bro. Xander brings the hoes out at the theater at Madison Square Garden. Imagine a big Puerto Rico weekend fight against Boots or Fedora, bro. They are coming out for this kid, man. And this is Xander's first fight since the Super Bowl, where he was featured in
Featured in the
front of 100
halftime.
million people.
Should shouldn't they prop him up in one more though? Make him. I would hate to see him right away
Uh,
lose to Boots. You know.
well, who says he will? Well, why does everybody just anoint these guys, man? Well, Xander
Remember Matt?
Zayas has been putting in the work.
If you're gonna crown him, crown him, Matt. You know how it is.
You want to crown him? Then crown their ass.
Thank you, JV.
Yeah, my thing is everybody keeps crowning these guys. Uh, put up Juice Digital Co's comment. He says, "Yeah, I said it's a no-brainer. Todd above said that shit is expensive." Hey, hey, Todd, you are the new leader of the company. Don't fall into the old habits. You have to believe in your guy and believe that he can sell.
Do you want to address
Hey, hey,
Virtuoso's
hey.
latest comment as well?
Who's
Dominican Day Parade greater than
nah,
Puerto Rican.
nah,
Uh,
There
nah.
we go. There's a.
hey,
Uh-oh.
listen. If Top Rank could have a lot of their guys featured in these either Riyadh season events or cross promotional or having their guys go off to Matchroom and compete and win, then why not have confidence in Xander Zayas? If you had Ray Murray defeat Andy Cruz, or if you had Emmanuel Navarrete beat Eduardo Sugar Nunez, then hey, why not have Xander Zayas go up against Boots?
Yeah, not only that, I think also need to take into consideration that Boots himself is going to draw a big crowd. So whatever you think Xander won't sell, Boots is going to make up for that gap. Because Boots did, obviously, he does a great crowd in Philly. He did a really good crowd in Atlantic City. And Philly people are just dying to come to New York. New York in the summertime, they will be out here. You will see the
Yep.
big beards out here.
That's all you know. They're home away from home, Matt. They're home away
Yeah,
from home.
yeah. You will see the big beards out here. Like, don't even think about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Listen, they could have a good price point for the tickets and it will sell
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about another rumored fight that's being worked on here. I guess reportedly, we have Oshaki Foster versus Raymond Ford. BZ, you have any thoughts on this potential fight coming being made?
Oh shoot, what did I say? Oh yeah. So, I talked about or mentioned earlier in reference to the top rank thing and like 5 fights that I wanted to see. One of them was a unification with Oshaki and with Emmanuel Navarrete. But somebody in within the group there in top rank said that there was a couple of fights possible, but that one wasn't necessarily in the cards at that particular point. So as far as like Oshaki versus Raymond Ford, I guess that's the next best option that's out there.
That really pisses me off. That really pisses me off. Why can't we have Oshaki Foster versus Mayor Navarrete next? Like
Yeah, I mean
this
it
dude
pisses me
don't want
off
to fight
too.
him. And listen, he doesn't want to fight him. He doesn't want to fight Oshaki. And I guarantee you that PBC is willing to step aside for one fight with Charlie Suarez to let that Oshaki fight happen because they really like Oshaki. By the way, they really like Oshaki. So listen, make the fucking fight. Like, listen, Ray Ford's a decent guy. We shouldn't be talking about Ray Ford. We shouldn't be talking about Ray
Thank
Ford.
you. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
He's a
I
decent fighter.
shouldn't put what you actually said sometime back on my show, Matt. But it looks like you're kind of like saying, "Hey, respect to Raymond Ford. I don't want to see him fight."
Yeah. Like, bro, it makes no sense that this dude just refuses to unify with Oshaki Foster. It makes no sense. And
You're
why
talking
does
about
Top Rank not want to
El
attack him?
Vaquero?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that guy will fight anybody. That has to be a top rank thing.
Listen, whoever's to blame, Oshaki wants the goddamn fight.
I don't think Navarrete cares who he steps in the ring with. You know what I mean?
So why doesn't he push for the fight then?
I don't think he cares. Like in that general, he just like put me in the ring. You know, and anybody you put him, I could put him in the ring right now with Huey, and he'd fucking give it all. He's give it a go still. You know. I mean, he doesn't care. That's why I'm like, you got to approach Top Rank for this thing, because he's gonna do whatever Top Rank tells him to do.
Okay. All right.
I know. Listen, I know these the hinted like this. I know these kind of people. They're just here. Whatever you want me to do, boss. They're those kind of people.
Yeah, we don't know how much is he getting paid for fight. He might not care who he's fighting if he's getting paid enough.
He might need, like I said, he might need even care. He just cares about the check coming in. So even if the fight's more valuable, he'll probably still take the same payday. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. Any other thoughts on the potential Shock versus Ford or any other items surrounding those two?
If we can't get Shock versus Navarrete or Shock versus Shakur Stevenson, then I will settle for Shock versus Raymond Ford.
All right. Now I'm kind of surprised this is as low on the list as it is, but maybe just because there's not a whole bunch of confirmation on the reporting. I believe this came from the virtual press conference that happened earlier this week, or is actually rather this came from the event that Kyle attended for Brunch Boxing. We had a report that Canelo will be fighting Christian Mbili. Can you tell us a little more about where that came from?
Came from Lester Martinez's mouth. Lester Martinez said, "Hey, Canelo's fighting Billy, and I'm supposed to fight the winner."
Man, that's a good deal if they stick to it. That's a good deal for Lester. That's a good deal.
So he fights the winner.
The sooner that fight happens, the better. Then, man, like, there's no need to wait for it. Let's get it
Canelo's
on.
not coming back till September. It's Canelo versus the world. Remember?
Ah, fuck, man.
I do wonder if they're still going to go through with that because Canelo,
you were saying
can't
that.
pay me to go to Riyadh.
You were saying that like the last week or a couple weeks ago. And remember how Canelo
pay my black ass to go to Riyadh.
You remember what Canelo was saying about his fight with that last fight he had over in Riyadh. Oh my God. Yeah, with William Skull. Oh my God.
Well, fuck that. I'm talking about Riyadh just got hit again.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah,
like, are y'all sure that we're gonna have any fights in Riyadh?
I completely forgot about the global conflict going on. I was strictly thinking about the boxing world.
Man. Yeah, you sure that they're gonna have any fights in Riyadh?
Shit. Very valid point.
Oh man, we might not have a Riyadh season anyway.
You know what, man? Maybe there are some fighters I want to see in Riyadh now, Matt. You know, before they want to watch any fights.
Oh man.
So where else would a Canelo and Mbili fight potentially land, location wise?
If not Riyadh,
Vegas,
next to the pyramids in next to the pyramids in Vegas, Matt. Not even in Mexico.
I don't think it's a Vegas fight.
Vegas because Floyd is fighting Manny Pacquiao.
Are we sure that's happening?
Listen, if Netflix says it, yes.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I believe that one.
Yeah, if Netflix is there. Listen, they will put Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao in bubble wrap.
Netflix told
Okay.
me I was gonna watch Tank
No, unless
too, and it
someone
didn't
has a
happen.
Tank Davis like situation, that fight's happening.
Even if a Tank Davis situation happens,
Yeah,
that fight is happening.
there you go.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Fight is happening.
I'm just thinking, like, you can't put it in Vegas. Canelo's not going to go fight in Canada.
Why not?
You think he'd go fight in Quebec?
Bro, they can attract the audience out there.
Maybe Toronto.
No. It has to
No,
be
you
Montreal.
put that in Montreal.
Has to be Montreal.
Man, I wonder what their price point would be there.
Has to be Montreal.
Oh, when the summer, man. Well,
So you
yeah, it's
think
the
that
summer
Canada
though.
could be a okay?
But how do
Hold on, real
we
quick.
how do we feel?
Hmm.
How
I'm
do
gonna
we
be
feel
honest.
about a potential?
I need to be educated here. Why Quebec? I don't
That's where
understand
Millie's based
Canada.
out of.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's where Eye of the Tiger is based at, Montreal, Quebec.
okay.
But how do we even feel about a Canelo and Billy fight? Do we like that fight?
No, we don't care, but I just think it's good for Lester if he gets the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Canelo could catch him with something, but I think that's a tough fight for Canelo, man. We were talking about it the other day. I mean, we saw him and Lester just trade shots for 12 rounds. And if he's going to be coming through the front door on Canelo,
Hey.
like, yeah, he leaves himself open for some big shots, but I think he might be able to take it.
Hey, listen. You have Canelo Alvarez there with Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso has a fighter by the name of Frank Sanchez who ended up having his fight with Richard Torres postponed because of knee issues. I'm just hoping that Canelo Alvarez was able to use all the money he could in order to repair his knee because, hey, he would be in for a fight against Christian and Billy.
Are we sure that they pulled him out for knee issues, or was Top Rank got their little deal and they wanted to save that fight for their own?
No, it was
No.
the PBC side that pulled
Okay.
out.
All right. I was just making sure.
All
Yeah,
right,
the
so-
PBC side that pulled out. Frank
I have a
Sanchez,
question
so-
about that, Matt. Given what the announcement that they have for May 2nd in the fights, so they did say that there may be one more fight added to the pay-per-view card.
They did say that, yes.
Interesting.
They did say that.
All right. Moving on from if there's nothing more on this, I don't think, like I said, we have too much. Just came from that quick interview that Brunch Boxing had with Lester Martinez. Matt, is that posted anywhere yet?
No, it's not
Oh.
posted.
Oh
Okay.
man, you gotta post it.
Okay, so
Hey,
that'll be
hey.
up on socials at some point in the coming days.
Oh, come on, man.
for
That's gotta
everyone to
be.
see here.
Hey,
Matt. Oh, BZ, yeah. Did you have something to add?
I'll say this: Lester Martinez equals ratings. Okay, so yeah, you have to post it. Definitely have to post it.
All right. So Matt, from the press conference you attended, here we just have Keyshawn Davis versus Abdullah Mason. Tell us what you saw. I don't think you've posted this yet either.
Yeah, Keyshawn was all up in his grill. Oh, I want to fight you. Abdullah's like, hey, listen, I'm at 135. You coming back to 135? No? Then shut the fuck up. That's basically it. Like, people keep saying, oh, Keyshawn's punking Abdullah. I didn't see that. I saw Abdullah, who's just not with all the theatrics. He's like, bro, we could fight if you want. It is what it is. But your ass can't make 135. Like, what are we doing here? I think Keyshawn, he's in his streamer phase, where he's just trying to go viral. He's still a serious fighter in the ring, but outside the ring, I think you're gonna see Keyshawn start to do things to try to go viral. He said that DDG hit him up and said, hey, listen, keep going viral, like what you're doing, don't stop streaming. So this is what you see from Keyshawn now. Do I think an Abdullah Mason fight is possible? No. I don't think it's gonna happen at all. I don't think it's gonna happen ever, to be honest with you. So I feel like a lot of brain cells were wasted talking about a potential Keyshawn Davis Abdullah Mason matchup.
Man, yeah, he need to leave all that alone. And that,
Why?
I mean, no, I'm talking about Keyshawn, man. Because remember, you had the whole thing when Keyshawn was supposed to fight Edwin De Los Santos, and on that Thursday press conference, he started to take those verbal jabs at Abdullah Mason before the whole thing with the weight came up. So I'm like, if you ain't gonna be making no weight for 135 when you were supposed to fight Edwin De Los Santos, there is no way that you're gonna be fighting no Abdullah Mason at 135, at 140, or ever. So he shouldn't have even like said anything to Abdullah Mason because that's an absolute waste of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Let's not waste any more time talking about it. It is what it is. Guys, it's not happening. So get it out your heads. It's not happening.
All right. And the last thing we have for the news and notes portion of the rundown, Matt, what's going on with Jamal Charlo? We saw him pulled out of the Resendez fight, and what's the future for him?
Um, hmm. I think they're gonna try to do a player fight, but I'm very disappointed that he wasn't ready for this Resendez fight. Cause what the fuck are you doing, Ronnie Shields? What the fuck are you doing? You got this guy back in your gym. He should be locked in, focused, in great shape, and ready to rumble. I don't understand what the fuck is going on. I really don't. Has he even started the camp yet?
Matt. Oh, this was man. I threw up an alley oop for you, man. This was supposed to be something for the rumor report, man. I lobbed it to you. I lobbed it to you. I wanted you to, just slam it and everything like that, and you missed it,
What I
man.
did was I caught the basketball, but
Uh
I landed on my feet, and
huh.
I've been head faking. I've been head faking. I
You
didn't
pump
dunk it.
faking.
I've been
You
head
pump
faking.
faking. You
I've
pump
been head
faking.
faking. Yeah.
Oh
I'm I'm
man.
I'm like I'm like 04 Shaq. I'm not 001 Shaq.
Oh,
I'm oh
one
04
check.
Shaq. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna pump fake a few times before I try to dunk, just to make sure the coast is clear.
Oh man, you overweight Shaq?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean, we kind of question what was going on, on Monday and Tuesday when we pretty much got the inkling that Mercedes was going to end up facing Jaime Munguia, and then they put out the report that it would be the co-feature bout to Benavidez versus Zerto. But where it is that they got a call that you could potentially have Jamal Charlo fighting Caleb Plant in a headliner. In that, given the money that could be involved with it, it would end up being another one of those pay-per-view fights. So my thing is, or my guess is, this is an absolute guesstimation, as they say, is that it could potentially be on for June 20th, the day after Juneteenth, because Jamal Charlo has been involved in a Juneteenth weekend fight before. So they may end up doing it again here for Jamal Charlo, this time against Caleb Plant.
Can I tell you something? I think they're full of shit. I think they're full of shit, and they just are trying to. Uh, they're trying to basically PR their way out of this. Bottom line is, the nigga wasn't ready, and we might have to add Jamal Charlo to the list of niggas I'll see you when I see you. Don't expect anything. If he shows up, he shows up, but don't expect nothing. I'm there with Jamal right now
Oh,
because
so you're done with him like some folks are done with the 90s?
yeah, I'm done. And Charlo's my guy. I would love to see him back in the ring, but you can't rely on him. You can't rely on him. I haven't heard no sparring stories. He was never getting ready. He was never getting ready for that fight. So I don't get what it is these guys are doing, but it is what it is, bro. At this point, if he fights Caleb Plant, great. I would love that, but I ain't trying to see Charlo versus Plant in no main event. By the way, I'm good. I'm good. That should be a co-feature, not a main event. Now, if you told me that was the co-feature to Tank versus Pitbull, all right, now we talking. Now we got something. But if you're telling me that this is a main event and a pay-per-view main event at that, nigga, please. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on that one. Put that shit on free Amazon. I'm not trying to. That's not a pay-per-view main event.
I don't think either one of
Yeah,
them is
it's
going to be
not.
getting out of bed for a free Amazon fight, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not a pay-per-view main event, bro. It's
Oh
not.
man.
It's not. Like that shit will go double wood. Come on, man.
All right, that's all we got for news and notes on the week. We're getting to Ezra's favorite part of the show. Unfortunately, he's not here. The Ezra breakdown. So, Matt, in place of him, you and BZ go through the Benavidez Zerto undercard for us and give us your breakdown of what this is going to look like and your grade for the card.
Well, speaking of Jamal Charlo, apparently he was replaced on the Benavidez Zerto undercard by Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia is going to be fighting Armando Resendez instead. Huey, hit my music. Word on the street, this is just me, maybe reading the tea leaves, maybe not, maybe hearing it, maybe not. So if I wasn't supposed to say this out loud, then I didn't hear it. I was just reading the tea leaves. Jaime Munguia may have been signed to PBC.
No, you might have to hit the music again for that one.
If you go look, if you go look at the press release that PBC put out when they announced this fight, they said that this fight is being done in association with Warriors Boxing and Zanfa Promotions. Now we know Zanfa is Jaime Munguia's Mexican promoter, but Warriors Boxing is Louis de Cuba Sr. and Leon Margulis. And Armando Resendez is not signed to Warriors Boxing. Armando Resendez is signed to Box Lab Promotions. So, who is the Warriors Boxing in this scenario? I did some inquiring, and word on the street is that it might be Jaime Munguia. So we might see some more Jaime Munguia on PBC cards in the future, especially if he's successful here. And listen, we could put this on wax now. I'm taking Munguia over Resendez.
All right.
Mm.
We'll wait for Ezra to get here to put the official picks in. But
Now, as for the rest of the card, we have the aforementioned Resendez versus Munguia for the WBA Super Middleweight Championship.
Hmm.
We also have Oscar Duarte versus Angel Fierro in a 10-round junior welterweight bout, all Mexican clash, a Mexican Civil War. I love that kind of fight. For those who don't remember, Angel Fierro, he was the guy that had the Fight of the Year candidate last February against Isaac Pitbull Cruz. You're also going to have Isaac Lucero, who is signed with Samson. He's going to be fighting, I think it's Christian Sandoval.
Alan Sandoval
Yeah.
is what they have.
So this Sandoval guy, Mexican guy, decent fighter. This is more of a showcase fight for Lucero, if
Mm-hmm.
everyone's being honest, because Sampson think he got another one with Lucero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He think he got another one. You know, Lucero just fought Roberto Valenzuela, who, if I'm not mistaken, fought Subriel Matias. So I think they're really trying to build Isaac Lucero.
Yep.
This card overall, be honest with you, it's a great card. It's gonna be all action. But I'm hating.
You
No,
giving it a C?
I'm hating.
Oh.
Because
Oh man.
why the fuck do the Mexicans get an
I was about to
all
say the
Mexican
Raza is gonna
Sigma
fucking
Pro?
love that card. The Raza
Why
is loving
do
that
the
card.
Mexicans get an all
We
Mexican
outside. We
Cinco de
outside.
Mayo card?
Okay, we outside in this one, man.
Oh man. Hey, Matt, don't go that far, man, like you did the other day.
Hey, listen, I'm just gonna say this. Juneteenth weekend. Juneteenth weekend. I better get the blackest card in PBC history. That's all I'm gonna say. Or I'm gonna be talking some shit. Gonna be talking some shit. That's all I'm gonna say, man. It used to be
Oh shit.
PBC. It might be
Hey,
Tay
don't
Bay
don't.
Say now. It might be Tay Bay Say. Tay Bay
Hey,
Say.
but to that point though, given some of the stuff that was happening last year, and how some promotional companies or representatives around there have been put in the forefront that you would get more of these events, or guys featured like a Benavidez, like a Isak Cruz, that type of thing, that we would be getting more of that here within PBC related events. So
And not only that, man. Charlie was supposed to be on the card. Your guy didn't show up. Like,
Hey, hey,
he didn't show up for work.
hey.
oh
You
man.
mind your
Come
fucking
on, Mike.
business.
Come on, Mike. You're
We
supposed
went
to be part of the
from
home team.
Oh shit.
we went from premier boxing champions to premier boxeo campeones.
Primero. Primero boxeo
Primero Boxeo
campeones.
campeón. Yo, that's insane. Yo.
Hey, PBC really is the home team.
I don't know why, man. It always takes me a second or two whenever you say the PBC to figure out what you're doing.
God. Primero
Uh,
Boxeo campeón is
yeah, but I ain't
crazy.
gonna lie though. This is a banger of a card. Like, to me, obviously we know Zerto versus fucking Benavidez is gonna be an absolute war. There's no way Duarte versus Fierro is gonna be boring. Duarte brings it every fucking time, and Fierro brings it every fucking time. Okay, Jaime Munguia, I will say, somehow his last fight was boring, but maybe that was because he was in Saudi Arabia. You know, his last fight was boring, but we know Resendez is gonna bring the noise, and Isak Lucero is a really good knockout artist, and Sandoval likes to fight too. So to me, it's gonna be a great card. So I'm not gonna hate. I'll give it an A+.
All right. BZ, you want to give a grade to the card?
Hey, I'm with that grade. You're gonna get, I would say at least two potential fight of the year candidates on this card. Duarte Fierro is going to be action packed. We're going to get something. I think you're going to be a little bit surprised with Armando Resendiz against Jaime Munguia. There, I gotta, say that Resendiz is going to, give people something there. And with Manny Robles in this corner, I think that he's going to show a few things that maybe some fight fans will be surprised about. And we all know that Benavidez versus Zurdo is going to be a banger of a fight. So yeah, I would say it's an A plus.
Yeah. Now, let's move on to tonight's cards. We have. I'm gonna start with the matchroom card. WBC middleweight champion Carlos Adames will be defending his belt against Austin Ammo Williams. This fight was supposed to take place on the January 31st undercard of Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. Uh, Adames fell sick. They said he was having problems after his weight cut. Now they move it to today. Wow. Um, Here's the thing, right? I like Ammo, but he hasn't shown himself to be at that top level. He has talent, but for some reason he can't put it all together. And I think Adames is just coming into his own. He's coming into his own. He's at the height of his powers. Now, how high those heights are, I don't think there are any great shakes, but I think in the landscape of middleweight today, he is clearly one of the top two or three guys there. And I think he's just going to be too much for Austin Ammo Williams. I think you should look for Carlos Adames to overwhelm Ammo late and probably get him out of there. Also on the card, you have Orlando's own Omari Jones in another fight. He's going up against Christian Gomez. You have Jacob Gomez going up against Corey Marksman, who was just with Overtime Elite, and now he's over here on his matchroom card. A fight that's interesting to me, Terramona versus Curtis Harper. Terramona is supposed to be the next big thing at heavyweight, the big New Zealander, the big Australian, whatever he is. I always get those two countries mixed up because the flag look the same, and they all look like Jason Momoa. But he is a big Samoan-looking motherfucker who is a heavy hitter. Curtis Harper from the walk out of the ring when the bell rings fame. Not a great matchup, but I just want to see what Terramona looks like again. And this is going to be really the first time that a lot of American audiences see him because he's going to be high up on this card. And usually he's not high up on the card. So I think that'll be very interesting. As for a grade for this card, I'm going to give this card a B plus. I
That's fair.
really do like the Adames Ammo matchup. I'm really interested in Terramona, and Amari Jones. He's probably a future pound for pound guy. So, seeing him in his infancy is going to be very interesting for the sport of boxing. Now, as for my official pick, I am taking Carlos Adames by stoppage. And my confidence level in Adames winning is a full 5.
All right. I got Carlos Adames by stoppage for you. I did reach out to your co-host Ezra this morning to get his picks. He is picking Adames by decision, and his confidence level is a 4.
Okay. Now, let's get to,
Matt, real quick, Matt.
yeah,
What is your confidence level right now that Ezra had to actually work this morning?
0.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, none.
zero two.
There's no way you can run the company and have to work on a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing. I always assume that Ezra's lying. I always assume Ezra's lying. So I don't think he had to work today. But the real main event of the evening, this is the card I'm looking forward to. We even got boots on the ground. My man Kyle is going to be covering the fight on behalf of Bunch Boxing. Lester Martinez versus Emmanuel Alim. Lester Martinez will be vying for the WBC interim super middleweight title. He will be if he's successful, because we can't just give him the fight. He has to actually go earn a victory here. But if he is victorious, he will be the first Guatemalan to win a title since Emmanuel Lopez when he won the WBA interim title 2015, and only the second Guatemalan ever to claim a interim world title. Now, this fight, I don't think Aleem got anything for him. To me, Aleem has been on a domestic level, club show level diet of fighters in the past few years. He's been fighting on
Hmm.
Jada promotion cards out there in the DMV. I think this is too big of a step for him. Too big of a step for him. You have to prepare yourself to fight a guy like Lester. I don't think
Hmm.
that the matchups that he's had leading up to this is gonna prepare him for anything. What's the biggest thing Aleem did? He beat Amilcar Vidal, who was the Uruguayan. What is it? Uruguayan or Uruguayan? Huey.
Uruguay.
I think it's Uruguayan.
Yeah, the nigga from Uruguay. All right.
God damn.
He was able to beat him on a PBC card years ago, and then you never heard from him really again. You know. I think Lester Martinez gets the fight done. He's too precise, too powerful, too good of a boxer. And like Bomac says, Aleem knows how to lose. Bomac, he must be listening to the
Damn.
show. He must listen to this. That's my kind of line. Right? He knows how to lose.
Oh
All right.
man.
So I think Lester's gonna win. Uh, Great event, by the way. Sold out event. The event ticket demand was so crazy that they had to reconfigure the space in the venue to open up more tickets. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of people on top of each other, basically. That's how big the event is.
Whoa.
Also
Crazy.
on the card, you have Joshua Anton, who is half Guatemalan. He's going to be fighting against Kudratillo Abdukakarov, who you may know he was the IBF mandatory for Errol Spence many years, taking that step aside money until Cody Crawley went and beat him, and then his career spiraled after that. But he does have a chance to really do something against Joshua Anton. Joshua Anton is looked at as a future potential opponent for Sebastian Fedora because he's top 15 in the WBC. But Abdukakarov could put an end to that shit. You also have top ranks Albert Chop Chop Gonzalez going up against Brandon Chambers. It's really a nothing fight. It's just a reason to watch Chop Chop. You also have Samuel Contreras, who just signed to Top Rank this past week. He's
Mhm.
going to be fighting Cesar Cantu. Unfortunately, the co-feature for this card, which was supposed to include Anthony Cuba, fell out because Anthony Cuba fell ill trying to make weight. He was dehydrated trying to make weight, so he was pulled from the co-feature this evening. But nonetheless, this is an excellent card. And this is gonna be an all action card. I gotta tell you, and this might sound hyperbolic. Respect to PBC, respect to Matchroom, respect to Queensberry Top Rank. Pro Box is the best thing going in boxing right now.
Most
They
consistent,
have
best
been
product on
putting
out there.
on banger after banger after
So
banger. That Najee
the
Lopez Manuel Gallegos fight last week was insane.
whole card.
Yeah,
So you're basically saying that Pro Box is the Ric Flair of boxing. It's the best thing going
yeah.
today. Woo!
And the interesting thing is, Gary Jonas Pro Box was the brunch boxing promoter of the year. So I kind of feel like he's kind of validated what we thought. He might repeat. He might be the first repeat promoter of the year. Well, I think TGB might have won twice. Who knows? But yeah, he might be the repeat promoter of the year. So shout out to them. To me, this is an A card. I'm looking forward to it. Um, I'll be honest. I don't care what ProBox put on. I'm gonna give them an A every time because I trust their matchmakers now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think on paper this is more of like a B minus card, but the thing is because of their track history, I know that the end outcome is going to be an A.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, regardless of what the matchups are, usually even if it might not look to be all too good, it ends up being better than it actually, was going into it. So you get more than what you may expect there with
They've
the number of Pro Box cards.
they've accomplished what Zuffa Boxing at some point hopes to achieve. I will tune in to a Pro Box card knowing it's a Pro Box card because I trust the quality of product they're putting on, regardless of the names on the bout sheet.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And shout out to my guy Kyle who did an interview with Gary Jonas this past week. An interview that is in the lost files, unfortunately. But
It's in
Gary
the Twilight
Jonas
Zone.
has huge plans for Pro Box this year. They're going to be doing even more title fights than what they did before. A lot of banger matchups, and hopefully they'll get like a big TV deal or some type of TV deal,
Mm,
before the year's out. They also have big plans for Lester Martinez. I don't need you to hit
yeah.
my music because it's not a rumor. If Lester Martinez is successful, he will be back in the ring on August 28th as part of a Guatemalan festival in Los Angeles that they have year round. The festival is called Festival Shopping de Los Angeles. Okay. And it's like the largest Guatemala festival outside of the country of Guatemala. Usually it draws like close to 100,000 people. It seems like what Gary Jonas of Pro Box is trying to do is they're trying to turn Lester Martinez into the Guatemalan Inoue. You know how they plan the Inoue fights around Golden Week, where it's like a huge, big celebration in Japan, and it's part of like a larger thing. They're gonna try to do that with Lester Martinez in August in Los Angeles, California. So
Mm.
huge things ahead for Lester Martinez, but he has to get it done tonight. And that leads into my pick. I think he will get it done tonight. I am taking Lester Martinez by knockout. My confidence level is a 5.
Ezra said
Hey,
times two. He is also picking Lester Martinez by stoppage with a confidence level of 5.
hey, y'all be sure to check out the article by Mr. Matthew Brown on Brunch Boxing about Lester Martinez. It's a good write up about Lester Martinez and his rise or potential rise to superstardom there as maybe a future Guatemalan world champion.
Yeah, first in the nation's history. Now, my favorite part of the show, let's make the people some money.
All
Let's
right,
go
bet.
Lester Martinez by TKO KO at minus 260. Amari Jones versus Christian Gomez. We're gonna take the fight not to go the distance at minus 200 because that is actually better odds than Amari Jones by KO.
I was about to ask, how are these odds looking? Because they were odd yesterday when
Yeah, it was minus 174 yesterday, is minus 200 today, but by KO, Omar is minus 220. So it doesn't make sense to make a pick.
especially when
I'm
they
just
have him at like a minus 8,000 money line favorite. It's not like they're picking or expecting the other guy to have a chance to win.
exactly. Now for Carlos Adames versus Emma Over 0.5 knockdowns at minus 150. Very simple
I'm
three-leg
juicing that a
parlay.
bit.
Yep. Very simple three-leg parlay. Plus 246. Thank me later.
I wasn't expecting that to be minus 150. I thought it'd be closer to like minus 130 and 115 range.
Oh, they know somebody get knocked down.
All
They
right.
know.
Mike, do you have any way to make the people some money this weekend? We got fights. We got NCAA March Madness. There's a lot going on.
I do not. I didn't have. I do not. I'll leave it at that.
All
I
right,
like.
all
I
right.
liked what Matt said, though. I really liked what Matt said. So
I like Matt's bet too. Matt, do you have anything for the people on the tournament? I know you didn't get a chance to fill out your bracket this week.
I do. Take Houston. The Houston Cougars against Texas A&M money line. Take Houston to win.
All right. And now, the final part of the show, we get to quick hits. First thing up here, Jarrell and Big Baby Miller versus Lanier Perro is done. Anything to add on that?
Oh, baby. That's all. Oh,
JBZ?
baby.
Where he said, Jerome Miller said, "Hey, when you do face me, there will be a price to pay." I can't believe he said that on the actual press release, man. It'll be an interesting fight. I think it's going to be the last chance saloon for Jerome Miller. Yes, he's there under Matchroom Boxing, but Adrian Hearn did say that he was fairly disappointed in Jerome Miller's last performance on January 31st. But with Perro being ranked at number 2 in the WBA, this is Miller's shot to jump up in the rankings there at heavyweight with a win. So he's gonna have to be on his A game for that fight on April 25th.
All right. And then we see the IBA, quote unquote, working on a potential deal with Artur Beterbiev. Matt, what does that mean? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Nope. It's okay.
I'm telling you, every week around this time, I told you, it kicks me out. Every single week kicks me out around this time. But yeah.
Yeah. Odd.
Nah, I think it was Ezra hacking the stream.
I don't know if you heard me, but the next item up on the quick hits is the IBA working on a potential deal with Artur Beterbiev. Can you give more detail on what that means?
No, because I don't know what that means. I find it interesting, though. Maybe they really will get involved in this Dmitry Bivol situation and try to bring this trilogy to Russia. We'll see.
BZ, do you have any other information on this potential deal with Beterbiev?
No, I don't.
Okay.
And the thing with Bivol, we just got to see Bivol fight, man. I don't want to, see no excuses. I don't want to see no back issues or nothing like that. Just get in the ring.
Well, and speaking of seeing him fight, we've seen the reports, but Matt and I were talking pre-show. I don't think there's been an official announcement for that IFR fight yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Last thing we have on the agenda for today is Jesse Bam Rodriguez expected to return in June in Arizona. Do we have any word on an opponent or where he's expected to be fighting?
They don't know. They did a lot of talking. Remember they said they was going to fight anyway this year, Huey?
I remember Ezra being very confident he was going to fight
Robert Garcia was talking about that.
Happening. Overpromise, underdeliver. This next Bam fight is going to be underwhelming, no matter who he fights. The play should have been to fight Takuma in May and Naiwa in September. That should have been the play, but they weren't ever really interested in fighting Naiwa anyway, so they didn't make the necessary moves to make that fight happen. He's probably going to fight a ho-hum opponent next, and then we'll just go from there, and he'll probably fight the winner of Maloney versus Willabaldo Garcia, which is actually not a good fight either. So it is what it is at this point with Bam.
Damn. So it's going to be a disappointing year for Bam Rodriguez then?
think so.
Unfortunately, because I drafted him, I think I put the Maloik on him.
Oh, it's your fault. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. We
I
can blame
fucking
you.
drafted him.
So we do have one question that I wanted to address from earlier, just because it was there. Our guy Brick Squad said, "Where's the hell is the star of the show?" So Ezra told us he had to work. I don't believe him.
Yeah, he's at one of those furniture stores or some shit like that right now. Antique shop, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, this is the first week that Sibby hasn't tried to schedule your fight for May.
Well, because you know what? I think everyone recognizes this was a nice, smooth run show. No edits necessary. Just boxing talk. No theatrics. No nonsense. We're just talking boxing here. If you guys want the nonsense and the bullshit and the buffoonery, Ezra will be back next week. But
JBZ,
it's boxing talk.
tell the people where they can find your work and what you have coming for them this weekend.
The Boxing Source on YouTube, Rumble. You do have the Boxing Source on social media. The Boxing Source podcast scheduled for Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. And tonight we will be back for interview with the hitman, Christopher Houston. He will be back on the show, and we may have the CEO of Country Box, Jimmy Adams, on the show. So make sure you guys check that out. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I think I might do that one on just the spaces. Maybe StreamYard. It depends on what our producers have going on. And we will be back for the post-fight edition of Brunch Boxing immediately following the Lester Martinez, Emmanuel Lim, and Carlos Adames, Austin Elmo Williams fights, because I want to do a post-fight for that one. Also coming up this week, we are going to have Brazilian heavyweight Abner Teixeira is going to be back on the show. He finally has his fight date. He will be back on the April 4th undercard of Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder. So make sure you guys check that out. Interestingly enough, on that card, H2O Silv is going to be on that card also. So that's going to be a very, very interesting card out there in the O2. That's going to be an A plus. I love that card so far. So shout out to them. In the meantime, I really need you guys to support the Brunch Boxing platform in every way possible. The free ways for you to support the platform is to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Send it out. Send them to Brunch Box YouTube. Have them go subscribe. Also sign up for the Brunch Boxing website, www.brunchboxing.com. You can also go subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And please give us a 5-star review. Now, if you want to support us monetarily, $ is that your face? The Cash App is open for business. You guys hit the Cash App. Support Brunch Boxing. Support me, goddammit. I keep telling y'all, support me. Forget that all that. Support me. All right? Support your boy. Hit the Cash App. Hit the Venmo. But I do want to thank everyone who tuned in today. Shout out to Virtuoso 191. Shout out to Sibby Boxing, my guy Trill Clinton, Coda Kid. Shout out to you, Juice Digital, Dan the Boxing Man, as always. Even Basquiat NYC, who is one of my biggest haters. Shout out to you, Bruce Gas, Brick Squad, iDrum, Cam J. I want to thank uh, JR of the Boxing Source for joining me on the show today. But now it's time to say goodbye. This has been another edition of Brunch Boxing. He is our host, Ezra Boxing. He is our COO, the Mexican Al Heyman Mike. He is our super producer, the master marionette himself, Huey P. I am Matt. We are Brunch Boxing, and we are out.